Welcome to Debbie's Back Porch. So glad you joined us again tonight. Well, tonight I'm going to make Hasselback potatoes. And you've probably seen 100 recipes for Hasselback potatoes. And mine won't be much different because they're a pretty simple dish. But I thought I'd take you through the steps to make them really, really good. And I'm going to have them with some salmon and shrimp that I'm cooking. Now the trick is going to be, my oven is broken and I'm waiting on a part. So I'm going to cook these in my electric roaster. And you know, we cook a lot in the electric roaster in the summertime because you don't want to turn your oven on, especially if you're canning, because then your kitchen's already hot. So we cook a lot of things in the electric roaster, including bread, biscuits, roast, and I pretty much use it as a second oven and have been really happy with that. So if you've been on the fence about whether or not you need one, if you say, oh well, all I ever make is bone broth, so why do I need to get a roaster? It really serves a lot of purposes, and I don't push you to buy anything, but if you're on the fence and thinking about getting one, I just thought it'd be really good for you to know you can just use it as an oven. Fred makes biscuits in it most mornings. Okay, I have here the equivalent of about 2 cloves of garlic. And I'm going to put a big pinch of my home-dried rosemary. It's hard to tell you how much in spoonfuls because it's kind of big, but it was a good pinch. Probably almost a teaspoonful. Now I'm just going to let this butter melt, and then I'm going to turn the heat off and let the butter just sit there and infuse with the rosemary and the garlic flavor. And I'm going to let it sit for several minutes while I prepare the potatoes. And we'll be back. Well, here you have 2 pretty healthy spuds. These are actually a little bit bigger than I would have wanted them. But I'm going to use these. I'm going to cut just a little sliver off the bottom of this potato so that it'll sit kind of firmly. And I'm going to put 2 wooden utensils on either side, and I hope that my knife is good and sharp. I want to cut these pretty small. These are about, I guess I'm cutting about a 1/4 inch. And you cut down to the wooden spoons. And you do that so that you don't cut all the way through. That first cut, because the potato's kind of curved, you may have to just eyeball it and not cut all the way down. Might cut the end off, and I'd really rather not cut the end off. I've got my roaster oven preheating to about 450, and if I were doing this in the real oven, I would probably do it at 350, but you lose a little heat back and forth. And if you can see, this is cut all the way down in about between a 1/4 and an 1/8 inch. And I want to separate it out a little bit. Let's go ahead and cut the second one. Make a little flat spot on the bottom. Put your spoons around. And you probably could see this better if I had my camera on the other side, but then I couldn't work. You're not going to get these exact, but get them as close to the same size as you can. Uh-oh. Okay. Now I have here the butter infusion. Let me pull these apart a little. Well, I should have gone down one more. A couple of ways to do this. You can do this with a butter brush. Actually, assuming this potato will actually fit down in my pan. Oh, by the way, that's what I was doing. I separated them out and then I just turn them sideways, and that helps loosen them. And I'm going to take my potato and dip it down in the infusion, and I'm going to turn it over. Whoops, hold on, forgot to get a pan. Because I am going to cook this in my roaster oven, but I'm going to put it in a pan. I think it cooks better that way, and I don't want the mess falling down in my roaster oven because I don't want to have to wash it every time I use it. So when I'm using it just as a second oven, I always use a pan. Okay, now those potatoes are fully drenched in the butter infusion. I'm going to put them in the roaster oven. As I say, it's up to 450. And these are going to cook for at least an hour. They'll cook a little faster than a regular baked potato because they're cut. But I'm going to take them out after 20 minutes. And we're going to butter them again. And we're going to add a little crusty salt to them. After 40 minutes. So they'll come out at 20, they'll come out at 40, and then they'll cook until they're done. So I'll be back when we take them out the first time. Our timer's gone off. This is the first 20-minute baste. And they are very, very hot. I'm going to do that little sideways thing again. You can use an oven mitt if you want to. I probably should have. Okay, put the lid back on for another 20 minutes. Okay, here are our potatoes after 40 minutes. We're going to brush them again with the butter, garlic, rosemary infusion. Kind of pull them apart as we go. If you'll see, this is another reason, the main reason that I put these in a pan down in my roaster. You could, I suppose, just set them on the rack. Now I'm going to sprinkle liberally with kosher salt. This is going to help it crisp up. Then I'm going to grate, sprinkle some grated Parmesan. Make it kind of crusty. And I'm also going to check for doneness with a fork. No. But they should be done with the next 20 minutes. So back in the roaster oven for 20 more minutes. We'll check them for doneness then. Okay, here we go. They've cooked an hour. And I'm going to drizzle the last of the rosemary, garlic, butter infusion. It will melt right down. They're done. And they smell wonderful. I'm going to plate this up for you. Be right back. Now, is that a pretty potato or what? Let's see what it tastes like. Let's see what this tastes like. You know, it's hard to go wrong with potatoes. If you've got potatoes and rosemary, garlic, and butter, you know it's going to be good. And this is also crispy on the top. So good. I'm sorry, talking with my mouth full again. Hasselback potatoes. Give it a shot. Thank you for joining us on Debbie's Back Porch. Hope to see you again tomorrow.